Well, I have to tell you, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't actually realize I have the opportunity to go live on Facebook or on YouTube. Wow, this is crazy. Wow. Okay, so why would I be here? Why am I here? Well, let me explain something to you. And I'm looking at the screen here because I don't want to miss anything. And this is a new environment. I'm looking at this big old debate, this big debate over ICE and over illegal immigrants and the unbridled power that Donald Trump has. They killed two American citizens, and being former law enforcement, I could have both of those situations should have been resolved differently. With the Renee Good issue, all that officer had to do was just step out of the way, wait till she passes by, get her license plate number, and then go arrest her. But no, what did he do? He shot through the windshield and killed her. With the Alex Preddy issue, what happened? I mean, when you look at the video, what happens is Preddy's standing there, and yes, he's a protester, and he's probably not saying the nicest things to the officer that confronts him, but he wasn't attacking the officer. He wasn't beating him. He was using words. And what does the officer do? Well, prior to the engagement with Preddy, the officer shoves a woman to the ground. Now, she's standing there. She didn't swing on him. She didn't attack him. She's standing there running her mouth, yelling at him. In all my training in law enforcement, I never once, that's not justification. I was working in the federal prison. If an inmate approached me and they're running their head and I slammed them to the ground the way that federal law enforcement officer, that person who is supposed to be, hold on a minute, close. Who's supposed to be our representative. He's supposed to uphold the law, uphold the Constitution. The way he did, if I treated an inmate like that in a federal prison, I would go to jail for civil rights violations. I'd be under investigation. I guarantee it. As sure as I'm sitting here right now. And I'm getting this pushback from my fellow law enforcement community, and they're saying, "No, Chris, you're wrong. No, you're wrong, Chris. No, I'm not. The Constitution guarantees it. The Constitution guarantees that you have to have due process if you're going to be arrested. If you're going to break down someone's door, you have to have a warrant signed by a judge. And the Constitution does not negate, does not differentiate whether you're a natural born American citizen or you're an illegal alien. The law applies to the land, not to be arbitrarily doled out like prizes or like winning lottery tickets. It's guided by the Constitution, and that's the only thing we have. Now, why am I even here? Why am I making this noise in the first place? I shouldn't be. I should be working on the stuff that I really enjoy working on, because this is hard for me. I mean, think about it. I'm a grandfather. You know how scary it is for my wife, for her to know that I'm sitting in my office here and I'm making videos trying to get Americans to realize what's at stake? It's scary. And of course, you know it's scary because you're not doing it. What, 400 million people in this country? And on the average post, how many people are actually out there in the streets saying, no, you can't do this? A couple thousand? Is it because you're afraid or you don't care? And not my choice. I'm doing what I do best. I'm doing what my skills allow me to do to try and change what's headed our direction. And let's talk about what that looks like. What do you think this is going to culminate in as a result of Donald Trump having complete immunity? He can do whatever he wants. He could walk into your house, shoot you in the head with a gun, and he would not be held accountable. And according to what the media reports, Donald Trump said that every one of his thugs, his ICE agents, his enforcers, they have complete immunity. Which would, of course, explain why that agent of the law, that constitutional upholder, the one that's going to serve and protect us, would spray Alex Preddy and the lady he was trying to save with pepper spray. And then Preddy goes to the ground, and he's just trying to help the woman, shield the woman from further attack. And this agent of the law grabs him, drags him from where he was by the car, drags him around the corner, gets the agent gets his buddies involved. And now here's the key thing. And then they actually show a video of one of the agents taking the sidearm that Preddy had from his hip. It shows it. You can see it. And then the result is, after the gun is gone, that's when the firing begins. That's when they shoot him. Now, and he's on the ground. He has 9 officers on top of him. Who was he going to kill? Who was he going to harm to the extent that officer said, wow, I think my buddies are in danger. I better kill this guy. And if you think it's not your business, that's only because it didn't happen to you. It's only because you're not the father of that man. You're not the brother of that man, or you're not the mother of that man who died for no reason. A blatant violation of the Constitution, of our standing laws in this country. And did that person get arrested or even identified? No, he's actually being protected by the very man that is elected to uphold the law in our country. If that doesn't scare the hell out of you, if it doesn't scare the hell out of you that Donald Trump secured $8 billion for his war machine, and he has unlimited resources, and apparently he has unlimited power. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at all this stuff that's going on in America right now, and the biggest question I have is, where the hell are all the people we hired to represent us? All those friggin' politicians, all the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, they say. It appears to me they're all bought and paid for by Donald Trump. What's going on in Georgia and around the country with the judicial system? The elections offices in Georgia are being raided. Why? Because they broke the law? No, because the woman that ran the election office sued Donald Trump and won, and now he has unlimited power. So what does this look like for your children, your grandchildren? What do you suppose America is going to look like by the time we get to this next election? January 6th? I mean, just bring some parallels around so you understand the issue at hand here. January 6th, that was treason. Treason against our democracy. If you put yourself in that place, if it were you or me and we were sitting on the pulpit, and I told a group of people, you listen, this is wrong and you got to go change this. You got to take our country back. And then as a result, they went and they took our country back. They attacked the Capitol, and they broke windows, and they assaulted federal law enforcement officers, Capitol police officers, and they threatened to kill our elected representatives. Where do you think I would be? Where do you think you would be? You'd be in prison. You'd be in prison. They would have drug you away. You'd have been in an orange jumpsuit, and you'd be serving a life sentence. What do you think would happen if there was an allegation by an underage girl who attended a party with a bunch of old men, and apparently Democrats and Republicans? Jeffrey Epstein, he didn't discriminate. If you were rich, he got you a girl. What do you suppose would happen if a party like that happened and your name came up or my name came up? First question I got to ask is, why are a bunch of old men hanging out with underage girls? Why? And then the other question is, why wasn't anybody investigated? You notice Donald Trump said, oh, we don't want to show the full transcripts. Well, let's just redact the hell out of it. Well, let's give them a black page. That'll be fine. The biggest threat in America is to allow anyone to be above the law as defined by the Constitution. And what scares the hell out of me is I have federal friends. I have federal law enforcement officers, former military, who say, well, you know, it's okay. You're wrong. You must be a Democrat. You must be a liberal. You must be. And what I am is an American. I'm an American. I'm concerned. I'm concerned for the silence. I mean, are you talking? How many things did you do to make any noise? You're like, well, you know, I don't want to get canceled. Well, let me bring something to your attention. If you're silent and you don't speak because you don't want to get canceled, you've already been canceled. So I'm going to throw a little prediction out here. It's a simple one. I'm going to throw a prediction out here. You do realize that if this is allowed to continue and Donald Trump has that $8 billion to fund his army, no matter how the next election should come out, it's not going to happen. They're already talking election fraud. They attacked Georgia because they want to build that case. They got how many, at least a year, maybe 2 before the next election? Let's build this story and we'll get enough people to believe our crap that, you know, at some point, you know, and then if it doesn't work out, if we don't get it that way, well, I got that army that I've given immunity to because I'm the president. I can give anybody immunity. So yeah, go and do whatever the hell you want to anyone you want. I'll protect you. If that isn't a tyrant, if that doesn't scare the hell out of you, I don't know what does. You think I want to be here? My wife's scared to death. Scared to death for me to be over here talking. And she's like, oh, we don't need that kind of trouble. If that's what you're thinking, that's the warning. If that's what you're thinking, that is a warning sign that God forbid you keep your mouth shut. God forbid you sit in your house and you don't go out and support your fellow Americans, people just like you and me, who are struggling to try and save this democracy that's quickly being ripped from us. The freedoms we've experienced, they're about to disappear. And of course, the big issue is no one can imagine. I can't, oh, no way, that would never happen. Want to draw a parallel to that? When Nazi Germany was doing what they were doing, that was against the law too. That no one could believe, no one would have ever believed that what happened in Auschwitz could have ever happened. And when it was done, and the Americans and the Europeans liberated the prisoners of Auschwitz, that's when the world goes, oh my God, how did that happen? You do realize this is exactly how it happens. This is exactly how it happens. And of course, the scary thing for me is I'm over here running my jibs. I'm over here talking about people that, according to the Constitution, I have the right to talk about. I have the right under the Constitution to say what I'm saying. But there's a part of me that thinks, damn, Chris, what are you doing, man? They're going to come and get you and arrest you, or they're going to kill you. And if that were to happen, who gets charged? Who cares? It's not going to get any better for you. It's not going to get any better for me unless we stand together, unless together we stand, if we unite, and we do not stay silent on this. I guarantee it. I promise. You know, this is not your best life defined. This is a survival mode video. It's a plea for you to stop being complacent, to stop listening to the rhetoric. And if you think it's all true, here's a little story for you. Okay, so I'm going to bring out a couple points real quick. One is, how do you know, would you really know who killed Charlie Kirk? If you look at Donald Trump and you look at how he talks about Charlie Kirk, he didn't really like the guy. I seen a video of him. He's saying, you know, I'm not like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk loved everybody. Charlie Kirk, he wanted to unify everyone. He goes, I don't. He wanted to make friends with his opponents. Donald Trump said straight up, I hate my opponents. I hate anyone who opposes me. Go find it. It's on YouTube. And then it's out of the blue, Charlie Kirk is starting to gain popularity. He's a Republican. He's charismatic. He's talking about God, talking about unification. A dictator doesn't want unification. A dictator wants total power. Who was the guy that killed Charlie Kirk? Oh, it was some crazy Democrat, I bet. I didn't follow up on it because as far as I know, it could have been anybody. Anybody. I mean, we're a victim of our own creation, simply based on the fact that you don't have any way to prove what the media is saying. You really don't have any way to prove what I'm saying. So you have to go from the standpoint of what do you have to lose? What am I gaining by this? Oh, I'm going to be a superstar? No, I'm fulfilling my obligation as an American. I'm not sitting still. As scared as I am, as concerned as I am about the safety for myself and my family, now is the time that we have to act. Now is the time we have to stand up and say, this is enough. This is enough. And I'm asking you to do that. If you're scared, don't worry, you're not alone. There are a lot of people that are scared. But America is not a place where you just get to be accosted by armed thugs because you look different than everyone else, because you appear to be a foreigner. We shouldn't have to carry our papers with us if we happen to be a different color or from a different country, because that's not the foundation of America. That's a tyranny. That is a leader who has lost control. And of course, want to talk about the leaders, and I don't mind putting this out there. Where the hell is our Supreme Court justices? Where are all our federal judges? Where are all our representatives? Where are you at? Where the hell are you? I ain't seeing you. You're not on the news talking about how Donald Trump is doing shit he shouldn't do. Why? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I mean, you work for me, you're supposed to work for the American people, and yet none of us have called for your firing. You're terminated. You're fired. That's what Donald Trump says. I guarantee it's not over. It's just begun. And if you're thinking you're going to have another election and everything's going to go back to the way it was, you're sadly mistaken. The longer you let this go and the longer you sit back and don't do anything, the worse it's going to get and the harder it is to recover. That's all I got to say about it. My name's Chris Jaquez, and I'm an American.